Hey guys, it's Hannah, and today I'm going to try to wrap up everything reading related that I did in 2016 in one video. First of all, I want to apologize for being gone for so long. Some stuff has been going on, and I'll explain eventually, I think, but for now, if y'all could just pray for me, that'd be amazing. So I haven't been on for a while, and I didn't finish my Instagram challenge. I did pretty good for most of it, but I never finished my Instagram challenge. So I haven't posted on there in a while either, so I'm sorry about that, guys. But on the bright side, now you don't know what books I got for Christmas, so this video will be a total surprise to you. It'll also be a surprise to you if you don't follow my Instagram, which, you know, you should. Shameless self-promotion. Now, take a note, this is just books I got for Christmas. There are other books that I bought before Christmas that I still need to do a book haul for, and I will eventually, but for now this is just books I got for Christmas. The first book I got was Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I got this from my friend Kelsey, and actually I finished it 2 nights ago, and guys, just wait for the review. Oh my goodness. Have y'all seen this book? Like, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. What even is this? The next 3 books I'm going to show in a bundle because they all go together, and that is these editions of Jane Austen books. I have Pride and Prejudice, which is absolutely gorgeous, Sense and Sensibility, and then Northanger Abbey. It took me a long time to decide like what editions of Jane Austen books I wanted. I mean, I'm pretty sure Jane Austen books are going to be those that I get multiple editions of, but I know I wanted one where I had like every single book in that same uniform edition. You know, I like uniform books. So I really like art, and this is kind of like a watercolory look, and I love watercolors, so I'm getting this set. And if you're curious, these are vintage classics, and I think they're actually UK covers, so you'll probably want to go to Book Depository. I don't have an affiliate link, so find your favorite booktuber besides me, of course, because I'm sure I'm your favorite, and you can use their link. But yeah, Book Depositories, I'm sure where my mom got these. Next book I got is Celia's House by D.E. Stevenson. If y'all remember, last year I got Listening Valley by D.E. Stevenson. I read it and I really enjoyed it, but there was an aspect in it that I was like, blah about, so I made a whole video about that whole aspect, which I will leave down below if you want to go watch that. But D.E. Stevenson, she writes really good books. The last one was set in World War II. I have no idea what this one's about, but I have another one. And last year my cousin also got the same book as I did, and again this year we both got the same book. So now I've decided we've given up on trying to do a book a month together because that was pointless. She got through 1 month. 1 month, guys. I made it through, I think, 4, and then I gave up because it was just me reading the books. So, I'm sorry, Margaret, I knocked you for that. So, we decided to be reasonable this year, and we're only going to read this book together. The last book I got for Christmas is probably my favorite because it's absolutely gorgeous, and that is Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll in this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous edition. I don't know if y'all have seen this edition, but not only is the cover and the spine and the back beautiful, if you take off the cover, look at this. Isn't it gorgeous? It also has illustrations throughout, and I haven't actually read Alice in Wonderland yet, but now I have a gorgeous illustrated edition to read, so hopefully that'll happen sometime this year. Now, the best books I read in 2016, and I kind of cheated on this one, but oh well. Now these are in like a loose order, like the bottom ones aren't exactly in an order, they're kind of, but not really, if that makes sense at all. And then the top ones are kind of in an order, but not really, if that makes sense at all. Basically, the first few are the ones that I really enjoyed, but they can't compare to the top few. And I'll explain that when I get there. It'll make sense eventually, I hope. So the first one I'm gonna talk about that I loved, I don't actually own a copy of though, but that is Emma by Jane Austen. Emma is now my second favorite Jane Austen book. I love the characters. Jane Austen never disappoints with her characters, and her character development was amazing, and I loved it. Next book is These Shallow Graves by Jennifer Donnelly. This book I read when I went on a trip to Colorado, actually, and I got it on a whim. I'll pick it up, it's at the library, I'll bring it on my trip. And I fell in love. It's a historical fiction with like some mystery intertwined in, and it is just an amazing book and an amazing story, and I loved it. Next book I'm going to talk about is Caress by Marissa Meyer. This is the 3rd book in the Lunar Chronicle series. What was that? In the Lunar Chronicle series. There we go. Now, I haven't read Winter yet. I actually have it right here from the library. I'll read it eventually. It'll be on my TBR when I post my TBR and wrap up later. But for now I haven't read it. So out of the series so far, this is my absolute favorite. I love how all the characters come together and the dynamics of all the characters coming together, and it's just absolutely amazing, and I'm talking really fast. But I loved it. Can't wait to finish it. I'm just in the kind of like a slump-ish area, and it's kind of because of what went on. Yeah, basically I'm in a slump-ish, and I haven't read it yet, but I have a stack of books that I need to read, so I'll get out of it eventually, don't worry. The next book I have is Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. This book I read towards the beginning of the year, and the main reason it's on here is because it's just stuck with me. I fell in love with it. I read it in a sitting. I read it in like, I want to say almost just 2 hours, because it's a very short book. It's 3 chapters, but they're 3 like really long chapters, and then they're divided up even shorter than that. So it's a really fast-paced book, and not only is the way you read it fast-paced because of the way it's laid out, but also what happens is fast-paced, so you just whiz through it, and it's absolutely amazing. And if you haven't read it yet and you're trying to get into classics, or you need a classic to read for something, I highly suggest Fahrenheit 451. It's amazing. The next one I have is Adulthood is a Myth by Sarah Anderson. This is actually like a little comic book, and I got it for my birthday from my friend Lisby, and it's hilarious, it's relatable, and I absolutely loved it. So it's not like a book, but it's on the list because I love it. They're hilarious, and they're always so relatable, and just the pictures, I crack up. I love it, so check this book out. Plus, the sweater is fuzzy, and I love that fact. So those kind of mark the bottom of my favorites, and these kind of mark the top of my favorites. Again, they're all favorites, but they're just kind of divided by like, these were really, really good, but these were like my heart. The first one I'm going to show you is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I've read this recently, and I really want to reread it because of stuff, and because I think it'll have different meaning and resonate with me differently now. But even beforehand, I just fell in love with it. It's just beautifully written. It has these gorgeous illustrations throughout it. If you do read it, there's a movie coming out, and there's like, you know, the movie copy. Get this copy because this one has the illustrations. I think they add so much to the story. So I recommend getting the original copy of the book, just so you know. It's beautiful. It's depressing, but it's beautiful. I loved it then, and I hope to reread it and love it again and understand it more. Now, these last 3 books are ones that you're probably like, ah, there they are. I was waiting for these to show up. The first one I'm going to show you is Dracula by Bram Stoker. As you know, I've read it this year, and I fell in love with it this year. Every time I see a vampire thing, I'm like, ah, my heart. It's just it's my favorite classic. I think it might top Pride and Prejudice. They're neck and neck, guys. Like, I don't know, but it's amazing. I just fell in love with it. The writing is beautiful, and as I said before, I suggest if you read it, you should get this edition. I don't know how common of an edition this is, but it's the Writer's Digest Annotated Classics, and because the annotations just add so much to the story and make it so fun to read. Like, it's already an amazing story, and then you add these annotations, and it's just the best. So again, if you're looking for a classic to read, I even highlier suggest this one. That didn't make any sense. Just read it. The next 2 books I'm going to show you I'm combining because I read them both this year and they're within the same series, and I can pick one, but I'm choosing not to because I'm like that. And that is See How They Run and Take the King, Lock Her Up by Ally Carter. Now, this one actually came out on the 27th, but I got mine early. I got mine on when did I get it? I think the 23rd or something. I got it at some point during stuff. But, so I actually read this on Christmas Eve. I read this one last January, which it would have been last December, last year. But I had gotten it late because I'd ordered it with the Siren, and the Siren didn't come out until then. Blah, 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 I had to wait for it. So that's why they're both in the same year, and they're both amazing. Like I said, I could pick a favorite, and if I do pick a favorite, it's this one. I stayed up till like 2 reading it. I got started reading it late because I went to bed late and I just didn't feel like going to sleep. So I read a whole book. Because that's what normal people do, right? It was amazing, and it had so much different feel to it than the other ones, but it was also so much the same. It's an Ally Carter book through and through. I think it's her best. It's just absolutely phenomenal, and it never slows down. And I need to stop talking about it because I'll talk about it in my wrap-up. just know I loved it. The last books I'm going to show you, again, you probably aren't surprised, and again, you're probably like, oh look, something's missing from my shelf. Aha, that's Six of Crows and Cricket Kingdom. So, I read both of these this year, and again, if I had to pick one that I liked the best, it'd be Cricket Kingdom, I think. They're really close, same as the last two books I showed you, because they're both so amazing. But something about that final book and the way the author wraps everything up, I just love it. So the last books usually end up being my favorite books in series, which is something I didn't notice until now. If you haven't read these books, something is wrong with you, because these books are amazing. Not only are they amazing to read, they are amazing to look at. But yes, absolutely love them. You need to read them if you haven't yet. And one thing real quick, if you ever see Liz me down in the comments, you should tell her that she needs to read Cricket Kingdom, because she hasn't read it yet, and it makes me mad. Nearing the end, guys. Now we're on to looking over my goals from last year. Alrighty, first goal was to read at least 50 books. I read 54 or 5. I don't remember. Something along those lines. So check mark on that. The second one was to read more books that I own. I don't know if I've really done that one, to be honest. I think I'd kind of read books and then buy them, but I've also been buying a lot more books this year that I haven't read, and so I have acquired quite a few that are sitting on my shelves, having never been read by me. Yeah. I don't think I really did that one. Fail. Read more classics. I'd say that one was a check. I mean, Dracula is one of my top books for this year, and Fahrenheit 41 was up there as well. Plus, I read Emma and Persuasion and what else? Animal Farm. I read a lot of classics this year, so I think that one is a check. Last one was to read more historical fiction. I think I did a pretty good job of it. I didn't read like an abnormal amount of historical fiction, but I read quite a bit, I'd like to say. But I read a nice variety, so I'm gonna go and give this a check. Like, I didn't read, like, exclusively historical fiction, but I did read quite a bit. I think quite a bit. I read some, at least. It does a check. Well, give me a check. And now, for the final thing in this video, I'm sure you're like, oh my gosh, finally, this is almost over. No, you're not, because you love me, right? First goal, read at least 50 books. As you might know, this is my goal every year. I don't like to push myself to read 100 books, because I know I will fail at that, and I don't like to fail. So I set what I consider a reasonable goal at 50 books. And then I'm telling people, I'm like, man, I really slacked this year. I only read like 54 books. Last year I read like 73. And everyone's like, I think I might have read like 5. Like, oh, 5 in a month, 5 in 2 months? They're like, no, 5 in the year. So, if you ever feel bad about how many books you read, I have friends who will make you feel better about that. Second goal, since I failed last year, I'm going to repeat this one and read more that I already own. And I own quite a few books that are books that I've been wanting to read for a while. I've like acquired them, so hopefully I will actually get to them. We'll see. I obviously didn't do too great at that last year, but maybe this year it'll be better. Hopefully. And the final goal, which I'm sure you're all probably cheering me on for this one because I kept talking about reading this series and I never read the series, and that is to read the Anne of Green Gables series, all of it. Finish the entire series. I need to do that. So that is all that I am going to talk about. Whew. I'm done. I'm done with the video. I'm done talking. Oh gosh, now I've got to edit this. Oh gosh. So that is it for this video. Comment down below, let me know how your 2016 went. What were your goals? Did you meet them? What were your favorite books that you read? What were your least favorite books that you read? Just let me know how your year went and we can discuss that down below. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I will see y'all again in another one soon.